Hi everyone, I'm Tom, a wedding videographer and storyteller, and today we're going to have a look at what's inside my camera bag. This is everything that I bring with me to my weddings in 2025, and it covers everything from cameras to lenses to tripods, bags, and all little stuff like batteries and SD cards. If you're a fellow filmmaker or just someone who's curious on how I cover an entire wedding day while staying lightweight and agile, then you're in the right place. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you've really been enjoying my videos lately. I've been trying to do one every week, whether it's a wedding video that I filmed or something about me going out in Cambridge taking photos, or just a video like this, me talking to you about camera gear. So yeah, let's get straight into it and I'll show you what I take with me to my weddings in 2025. So we're going to start off with cameras, and I shoot on Fujifilm, and the cameras that I use is Fujifilm X-T3 and Fujifilm X-T4. The camera that I'm shooting on most of the day is the Fujifilm X-T4. It's the camera that I'm filming on at the moment. It's the kind of all black version, so it helps me kind of be discreet and blend into the background, but I do like the silver versions and they look very retro. So I get a lot of comments about these on wedding days, which is pretty nice, and lots of people want to kind of hear me talk about cameras. But yeah, I shoot on these two cameras. So the Fuji X-T4 is the one I shoot on for most of the day. I have another Fujifilm X-T4 and a Fujifilm X-T3 as a backup. When it comes to ceremonies, I'm shooting on 3 cameras. I tend to have my Fujifilm X-T4s at the front, and I have my X-T3 at the back of the aisle just as a backup. In terms of lenses, I'm mostly shooting on zoom lenses. The lens that I'm filming this video at the moment is the Fujifilm 16 to 55 2.8 lens, and this is the lens that I'm using pretty much most of the day. And as I'm handheld most of the wedding day, I feel like a zoom lens just works really well for me. I have been kind of looking at primes as well, mostly for like the morning prep where it's a little bit slower, but for the rest of the day when it's quite fast paced, I really like using a zoom lens. So the other lenses I've got is the Fujifilm 16 to 80 f4 lens. I was actually using this a lot when I first started weddings, and shooting on f4 wasn't the best, especially if you're shooting in a barn or anything like that, and it's not the best for low light. But I will tend to use this for speeches, as with the focal length of 80, it's very good to kind of get a really nice zoom into whoever's speaking. So I tend to use this on my secondary camera for ceremony and speeches. Then I have the kit lens, which is the 18 to 55 Fujifilm lens, and yeah, this tends to go on my X-T3 as a backup. If I'm really struggling for low light, especially during dancing shots or anything like that, I do have a very small 23mm f2 lens. This is tiny, so sticking this on my camera, people very rarely notice me because it's so small. But I do want to get more prime lenses, so if you do shoot Fujifilm and there's a prime lens that you really love using, drop it down in the comments below, I'd love to hear them. When it comes to audio, I'm mostly using a shotgun mic on top of my camera. This is the one I tend to use, which is the Rode Micro Go, I believe it is. It's quite small and very discreet. I also do have a Sennheiser MK400, I believe it's called, that I'm using at the moment. These are good for like ambient noise during the wedding day, but when it comes to the ceremony speeches, these are not very good to rely on. But because I like to be lightweight and not come with tons of equipment, I use these Sony recorders, which are the Sony TX650 and 600. I've got 6 of these. I do have one of these kind of covers, which my wife made me, which my Sony TX recorders slip in quite nicely, and then that goes onto the microphone that they'll be speaking on during the speeches. So that's what I'm using for ceremony and speeches. It's very lightweight. These just go into my little bag, which I take with me for the entire wedding day, and I can just quickly pop them on. These are really handy. I use them a lot in dress reveals with the father of the bride, and if they're doing a first look of each other or a first touch, these are very good to just quickly slip into people's pockets. In terms of tripods, I've got the Kaya, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, that I bought off Amazon, and there's 2 tripods. They're very lightweight and pack up quite small, that I'll use for ceremony and speeches. And as a very, very small one, I've got a K and F concept tripod that I'm using at the moment, which is very good for just having a very low shot at the back of the aisle. That's a very lightweight tripod. So I don't want to come with big heavy video tripods, as I want to be moving around quite easily and pack them up very easily as well. I'm not really using a gimbal during a wedding day. Sometimes I might for confetti shot or a sparkler shot, and for that, if I do need to use a gimbal, I've got the DJI RS3 Mini. I did actually have the Ronin RSC, but I found that very heavy and quite big and bulky, and when I found out that they were bringing out a mini version, having a mini version, as I said, I just like to be lightweight, and that one's perfect. When it comes to bags, I'm using the Peak Design Tech Pouch. I think it's the Tech Pouch that I wear with me around me for the whole wedding day. This will store all of my Sony recorders, batteries and SD cards, so if I ever need to quickly swap out a battery or put a Sony TX 650, 660 on someone, I've got it with me the whole day. In terms of my camera bag, I'm using the Gomatic Peter McKinnon Luma camera bag, I think it's called. I actually bought this bag last year and it's been amazing to use. It fits in all of my cameras and lenses and stuff for all of my miscellaneous stuff and snacks and water and everything. It's a really good bag, it's very lightweight, it's very small, compact, and yeah, I can't say anything bad about this bag. Just really liked using it. I will try and put a link to some of this stuff down below in the description, so if you are interested in checking this stuff out, check down below or message me if I forgot to include something as well. When it comes to some of the more like bag stuff, in terms of like SD cards, batteries and stuff like that, I'll be carrying around these two like hard cases which fits all of my SD cards, and I'm mostly using these Lexar silver versions. ND filters, because I'm only shooting on one lens, I've got this ND filter or variable ND filter from K&F Concept, which I will put on my zoom lens if it's a bright sunny day. I do have a sort of a lume cube light that goes on top of my camera, and I will use this mostly for dancing shots or like a sparkler shot if it's very dark and I need a bit extra light. And then I'll have two of these pouches which fit in my batteries, and I think I take with me 8 or 9 batteries, and I'm sometimes charging these during a wedding day because that sometimes isn't enough. And lastly, I have one of these earplugs. I don't know if anyone else wears earplugs during the evening, but if there's a band, they can be very, very loud. If you're doing lots of weddings, it can damage your ears. So I use these ones. I think I got these from a website called Happy Ears. They're very good. They come in a nice little box, and yeah, you just pop them on just before the dancing happens. And that's mostly it. That's what I tend to use for my weddings in 2025. I like to be non-intrusive and present in the moment, so I don't like to have to be changing lenses and then missing a really important moment. I just want to have my zoom lens, be quick and versatile and just running around and just, yeah, capturing everything that happens during a wedding day. I wanted to kind of do one of these for a while, and I've really enjoyed watching other people's what's in my camera bag videos, just to see what kind of gear people uses, what cameras and lenses they are using. There's not many Fujifilm wedding videographers that I know, so if you are out there, do drop a comment down below so I can chat to you about cameras and lenses. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video where I go through my camera bag and talk to you about all the different gear that I use and equipment I use on a wedding day. And yeah, if you have enjoyed this, please like this video and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.